Hi fam, thanks for joining me on the Ghanaian Farmer YouTube channel. This is excerpts of video I took from my recent trip to Cape Town, South Africa to participate in the AICCRA Spring School in Strategic Communications for Climate Smart Agriculture in Africa. It was selection of 6 African countries that comprises of journalists who are promoting agriculture and working on daily basis with farmers. So there you have, it's just a small view of the hotel we are lodging and a bit of the streets of Cape Town, and classes is about to start, but your girl as usual, I just want to feel the fresh air. So you're going to see a bit of presentation from our facilitators, Sabrina, and also from other people who actually led us. So you take a quick look at that. I'll be right back.
Good morning. Great. We are now going to start with a formal welcome, and we'll get to understand a little bit about what we're doing today, and then we're all going to meet each other. So just a big warm welcome, and thank you everybody for being here, and everyone traveling safe, and I'm really excited for the next 2 days.
Johnson. These names should be remembered because these are journalists that changed the world. As a former journalist, although they say once a journalist, always a journalist, journalists are people who say stories that in all essence are not stories at all. Anas Remayo. This is an undercover investigative journalist from Ghana who is known the world over for exposing corruption, for changing the world and bringing people to accountability. Berry Streak is a South African anti-apartheid journalist. This is an award-winning person who was also the president of the Cape Town Media Press Club. Wahonji Kaburukuru. This is an East African reporter who stood up for human justice as well as environmental justice. Boris Johnson, we may know him as the British Prime Minister.
How we can understand national networks. Who do we operate? Who is our network right now? Who do we go for information? Who do we have in our networks nationally and regionally? And do we have a really clear sense who we're targeting with our messages? So we're going to unpack that. And tomorrow we're going to take a deep dive into how to really, based on what we've learned today, build a story narrative. And then a really clear action plan together, looking at what are the engagement opportunities this year? What's happening in the climate and agriculture space? Where can you pitch your story to be most impactful? And then we'll bring back our colleagues tomorrow afternoon from the regional side and have a really good session about how journalists can tap into these regional programs and how there can be better coordination between the two. What do you want to contribute to the workshop? I just want to get a couple of responses because we've heard this.
And yes, this was our networking session. That is Reginald, the team lead for Ghana. That's our cameraman right in holding the camera over there. These are other journalists from Senegal, Mali, and this lady here, Cecilia, also from Ghana, and then other journalists from 6 different African countries. Some of them are communications people from different organizations, but who has a connection when it's come to smart agriculture, when it's come to climate change related matters. That is Sabrina right there running around trying to ask us if we managed to find out the names of our partners, which country they are coming from, which media organization they are representing, what they do, and so forth and so on. Let's continue.
So I just want to say a few words about why we are here this week, and a little bit more about Global Communications and Knowledge Management Manager for AICCRA, and AICCRA stands for Accelerating Impacts of CGIAR Climate Research for Africa. Now, this is a project that works to support the delivery of a climate-smart African future, and one that's driven by science and innovation in agriculture. Now, we work to make climate services and climate-smart agriculture more accessible to millions of smallholder farmers across Africa. Now, we believe that with better access to technology and advisory services, the farmers can better anticipate climate change and climate-related events, and help take preventative action that helps their communities safeguard their livelihoods as well as the environment. Now, as you may know, some of you probably work with our colleagues in the teams across Africa. We have teams in 6 countries: Senegal, Ghana, Mali, Ethiopia, Kenya, and Zambia. But we also have teams that work on lots of regional initiatives that kind of go beyond these 6 countries, and they sort of complement these national. Am I cutting out? I'm back in. These national activities to try and, as we call it, spill over, to kind of scale these impacts across entire regions, across West Africa and across East and Southern Africa. So in our name, obviously, we say Accelerating Impacts of CGIAR. You may be asking, what is CGIAR? So CGIAR has for 50 years been leading innovation in agriculture and food security. It is the world's largest research partnership in this area. And so AICCRA is specifically a specific project that works to accelerate what CGIAR has been doing, basically taking CGIAR innovation sort of off the shelves or out of labs and into fields and into the hands of farmers. And part of our sort of theory of change and our philosophy and our approach is about forging stronger bonds between the scientists and researchers who work for CGIAR, but also food producers, policymakers, private sector leaders, community champions, and crucially, and this is why we're here today, is leaders of African media and communications leaders at the organizations we work with, who all play a critical role in scaling the kinds of innovation that CGIAR is renowned for. So what we try to do is kind of solve this missing middle between science, technology, and innovation on one hand, and on the other, sort of large-scale projects that have to kind of navigate very complex economic and social challenges, and they have to be viable and they have to be sustainable to be delivered on scale, and that's what AICCRA does essentially. And we believe that media can be a critical part of that approach. So we want to connect you all today. We have in this room we have a mixture of communications leaders from our partner organizations, both from national and regional, and we also have journalists from across Africa. So part of what we want to do is to understand your strategic priorities, understand the stories you're trying to tell, and how you can tell the stories, and how we can maybe support you in perhaps overcoming certain challenges or just helping set strategic direction. It's also incredibly useful for us because it's really good for AICCRA to deliver on its goals, to understand your priorities and work with you and work together to achieve them together. So
I welcome you to AICCRA IMI's workshop on strategic communication and media climate smart change. Your world needs you. The stories you are going to tell can change generations yet untold. Our country, our world, our continent needs you. Thank you for responding to the call.
Good morning, everybody. Well, firstly, thank you for joining us.
Systems thinkers, and if you might be reporting on one part of the system, you're actually thinking, hold on, there's a whole bunch of other things happening. Do I need to speak to other people about this? Do I need to get some other views? So my goal is you guys leave today feeling like systems thinkers, because that's how we need to address climate change. And then tomorrow, we're really lucky to have Chiara here as well. She's a really seasoned journalist. She's worked in the UN Framework Convention for a long time. She's been at a lot of these big policy meetings. She's seen how journalists pitch, and Chiara is going to be helping us lead through a really interesting narrative. so that we can help you storyboard. We can actually help you design and build the basic architecture of a story tomorrow. And you're going to be working with the AICCRA comms people to also start to think, they've got some stories planned, you've got some ideas, how do we come up with a really compelling action plan?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
We just use it and it's cool.
About how we can do more and be more proactive, and keep thinking about your role then as the media in pushing that agenda as well. So we've got to do business differently. And it also requires this idea of disruptive technologies. Same principle. When you're looking to say, so let's take the wee company that I helped set up, Labelix. We knew that when we set up the platform for farmers to be able to access and see live prices in markets for tomatoes and onions and cabbages in different markets, in Soweto, in different places in the country, we knew that it would create friction, because actually some people don't want that transparency of knowing what the prices are in the market. So if you're somebody that normally goes to the farmer's gate and says, okay, I'll buy your tomatoes, I'll buy them at 10 kwacha a box, and the farmer can go on to their app and say, hang on a minute, it's 30, I can get 30 kwacha a box if I go to the market today. Then that creates a different, it shakes it up, it's disruptive. It was intentionally disruptive. It was intentionally to empower that farmer in that dialogue, yeah? So that's the other thing around this whole idea, there should be a disruptive element to what we're doing. And then lastly, I think this is a little bit theoretical, but it's really, you talked about, who was it that mentioned was here before the movement, about the pace of change. And how do you leave you shouldn't be leaving people behind. So it's incremental steps. It can be baby steps moving forward, but it has to be in the right direction in that sense. And then it's leading to longer term outcomes. You with me so far? Yeah? But there's got to be an iteration. So in other words, you're going to do something and then you're going to try and create another version of it and then another version of it, because you're in business and that's what's important to you. Does that make sense? There's a product iteration there. So you're thinking long term, 5 years from now, what's this product going to look like? You're also based firmly on the end user's needs. Again, this is where you can come in as media. You are the best people to be able to communicate all the way up from a private company to the CEO to the policymaker what the needs are of a farm.
Oh yeah, so just like they say, all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. There you see us trying to use our body to spell climate change. Oh my goodness. You can imagine. Look at some people. Look at what they are doing with their head. Look at our facilitator, Sabrina. Oh my goodness. Look at Issa. And this gentleman from Senegal. I don't know what he's doing. Jesus. Oh my goodness. Look at them. Everybody is trying to spell climate change. And it's so fun. Well, you will not get to see me because I'm holding my phone and doing the recording. So it was really fun in Cape Town. Oh, and the fun game continues. There we are after lunch. Day 2, our facilitator says we're looking so dull, so he asked one of the ladies to raise a song. So this particular song, I think it's in which language? Is it Senegal or Zambia? One of the countries. And oh my goodness, look at them. Look at Kofi from Ghana. And it wasn't easy, oh Jesus. You should have seen people. And it was really fun. Cecilia over there and other people. Yeah. We were all dancing, singing to Korte. We don't even understand what it means, but we just have to sing it. We had a lot of fun whilst learning. I enjoyed every bit of our stay in Cape Town.
I'm sure this is crank a bit more.
In total, we spent about 5 days in Cape Town, learning how to report, how to educate, how to gather our thoughts when it comes to, putting stories together and reporting. Look at Kofi from Ghana, reporting on climate change. Many thanks to AICCRA, many thanks to International Water Management Institute for the sponsorship. We are very grateful. And oh my goodness, as usual, there you have it, Ghana's finest farmer. The only farmer who is so fine is Enyonam Manye. If you are on my channel watching this video, please subscribe, please share the videos. Let's grow the channel, let's increase the views, let somebody get to know about this impactful content. And if you have any form of support for us at all, I'm looking forward to hearing from you. But until then, please just know that I am so grateful for your support over these years. I love you wherever you are. I love you so much. I wish I'll see you one-on-one someday and give you a hug. But until then, it's all love from Cape Town for me and from my entire team and from everybody in AICCRA and Team Ghanaian Farmer. Thank you. We love you. Bye-bye.